All right. So, Ben, can you introduce yourself a little bit about who you are, what you've done, some
Um,
things?
all right, so I'm Ben Bravman. I'm from Golden, Colorado. Um, I have two mountain bike national championships and a cyclocross national championship as of 2 days ago.
Yeah, I saw that on Instagram.
Um, yeah, and yeah, mountain biker, cyclocross racer, and not too much road, but
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I remember when I first met you out in Arkansas, we we were all riding together with the team, and then we were out on that rock. Do you remember the team camp at all?
yeah,
When we were out
yeah.
on top of that rock, and then you sent it, and I was like, no, not at all. And you were
Oh,
like
that rock, yeah,
14. Yeah, you were like 14 at the time. I'm like, who is this guy? He's on like some crack
yeah.
or something.
You did it too.
I did? No, I didn't. You
Yeah,
did
yeah,
it.
you did.
Oh, I must have done it. I don't know. Anyways, bro. So how was the journey of let's talk about the recent event. Let's talk about cyclocross. What was like the
All right, sure.
what was the how did it feel when you got up there and you were on that podium?
It felt really good, especially after last year at Cyclocross Nationals, and last year was in like Chicago,
Yeah.
and I was a first year 15, 16, and I was sitting third. We were like past the pit on our last lap, and I broke my chain, so I had to like run to the finish, and I lost a bunch of spots.
Right.
So that was like that had me like fired up, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, I know exactly what you
And
feel
like um yeah, so it felt really good to finally like have a solid race at Cross Nationals, and yeah, it felt like a good validation of a good year.
like. Yeah, bro. Yeah, I see all
But
the work that you're putting down and I'm like, yeah, let's go get it, Ben. Let's
yeah,
go get
thank you.
yeah. Um, so what are some things or some people or experiences that have like pretty much made you who you are where you want to push to get those new achievements?
Yeah, so like starting like in this sport, like I really got serious when I was like 14-ish.
Yeah,
Like not really serious, but that's when
in
I
it.
started, taking it more seriously. And my dad, he raced, and he's who got me into racing
Right.
at first. Like I did my first race when I was pretty little, like five, like six or whatever. And
Hmm.
like I had we had a family friend, the Stewarts,
Okay.
and their son Levi. Me and him were like rivals throughout, like until like I was like 12 probably. Like he he stopped racing. He started playing football
Oh, okay.
instead. But yeah, that's like at first that's what would really motivate me, and or something at least that would motivate me. Like I love to ride when I was little, or at least like sometimes, like you know how
Right.
it is
Yeah,
when
exactly.
you're little, like your dad has to like push you out the door or whatever and be like,
Yeah, exactly. He's like, "Come on, you
let's
said
go
you
for
wanted
a
to do
ride, or
it." Yeah.
yeah, or like has to convince you to go to like races
Yeah.
and whatnot. But so like I was my dad and a couple family friends. There was not really any like young kids teams in Golden. So they
Okay.
started this team called GBX, and that's what me, Levi Stewart, and Toby Hassett as well.
I
Actually,
know
all
Toby.
yeah, yeah. Toby came up through there. His dad was one of the people who helped start the program, as
That's
well
awesome.
as Levi's dad. Yeah. But we would like ride a couple times a week, and that was really like my start into the sport. We would like go to races and stuff, and like that was super fun. Just hanging out. It was like just hanging out with my friends and stuff.
Yeah, that's sick, bro.
And so then when I was 12, um, nationals was in Winter Park, so I raced 11 to 12 nationals there,
Yeah,
and that was my first ever nationals, and it was okay. Like I don't think I don't know if it's particularly a good thing, I think, to be doing so well in like 11, 12, or like younger
yeah,
than
peaking
that,
at young.
because yeah, I just think that's like a little bit young, but I think it also depends on like your training. If you like if you're training super hard, um, or like you have like a training plan when you're like 9, you're probably gonna get burnt out. But like
Yeah.
if you just like ride and you're fast, I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. But I was fourth in that race, and then
Hmm.
I was like I wanted my goal was to podium as
Yeah.
a first year 13, 14 at that nationals. So I started doing a bit more training, um, and like I was starting to like really get into the sport then, and then nationals got canceled because of COVID.
Yeah, I
So
remember
like
that.
that whole summer, I was just riding for fun and not really doing anything too serious after it was canceled. So um, yeah, that was just fun, like hanging out with friends and riding, like just working on skills and stuff. And
Right.
then next year, coming into like second year, 13, 14,
Yep.
that's when I started taking it a lot more seriously. And Toby, the year prior, um, like while I was a first year 13, 14, he was on weight for his
Okay.
first year, and I think he liked that a lot. It like that was definitely like his start in getting serious into the sport as well.
Hmm.
And then they had a younger team when they created this younger team when the year when they had the like white to black fade jerseys.
Yeah, I remember those.
Um
You wore them a few times, right?
yeah. And then so that year that team was like all ages, I guess, or at least like 13, 14 and up. They had like they were supporting a few younger riders like me and Sage Hummin, who also lives in Golden. And yeah, so that was like my first like serious training plan, I would say. And that like it really like I really responded to the training, I think. And I got a lot faster. But like
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. Like it wasn't like 90% of the time I was like motivated to go out the door and do intervals or whatever. But like that like 10% of the time when you're not motivated, I think that that's important to like push through and stay disciplined. But I think it's also important to not take it too seriously. Um, like especially considering like injuries and sickness
Yeah.
and all of that, like making sure that you're always staying healthy and enjoying the sport and taking time like taking good quality time off the bike in the off season. And so yeah, that year was good. I went to like a few of the like US um national races. I went to Arkansas and Soldier Hollow, I think. In
Yeah.
Arkansas I raced up into 15, 16,
Hmm.
and I remember Liam Bartman I think won that race and I got destroyed.
Yeah, everyone
But
got kicked on that race, dude. That was a hard race.
yeah, it was really tough. And it was just like that was like motivating for me. It was like it was almost like eye-opening. It was like, wow, this is how fast these kids are. So like when I was training, I would think about that and I would think, like about riding like on their wheel or whatever while I was in a hard interval.
Hmm.
Um, and just that that helped push me to like a little bit of a higher level, I think, later on in the season. And I'm glad that I was able to like make a positive experience out of that because I got clapped, dude. I got destroyed, but and then Soldier Hollow was good. I won like 13-14 race, and then I won nationals for short track and XC that summer, um,
Yeah.
for 13-14. And I just think that like, especially like riding with Toby and like Cody and Kathy and the whole team that year, it was just I had a lot of people to look up to, and there's just like it was just a great opportunity for me um, to like begin doing some serious training and like not only getting results doesn't matter as much I think as like learning how to train and just like yeah, because I think later on like I've learned so much about the whole process of training and like from like January to like July of what you do and how to get fast. So, but like also having fun on the way. And yeah, that was super helpful. I think I couldn't have achieved that without like all of those role models like Toby.
Yeah. So you
And
think those? Oh, sorry. Keep going. I cut you off.
no, no, you're good. I was just gonna
Oh,
say like in Cody and Kathy's coaching, but
yeah.
yeah, I think that's what really helped me that season.
Yeah. I could definitely see you. You started to really grow. I could like whenever you shaved your head, that was when I
Yeah,
could tell you started to like. That's like the only thing I could remember like when you started to grow like that time. But
grow like
yeah,
physically.
yeah, like physically, like you as a writer, you grew more.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
and it was just cool to watch you go get faster and achieve the things that you wanted to achieve. And it was I mean, it was an
yeah,
inspiration
thanks.
to me. It still is.
Oh yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, because if I was like, everyone's like, oh, I wish I started at a younger age.
Yeah.
Um, but you started out like the prime, like when you want to start, you started and you got
Hmm.
it. And I wouldn't say you started with talent. I say you started with hard work, and the hard work paid off,
Yeah.
and it's starting to pay off.
Yeah.
But
I appreciate that.
you got talent too. Don't get me wrong.
Thank you.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Um. But yeah. Tell me more about the role models. Like, what are some things like some keywords, some key quotes that you could think that they could that really like resonated with you?
Yeah. Um, so like some of the people that I think were really influential to me in that when I was like 14 that summer of when I won mountain bike nationals, like Toby, like I said earlier, and then like Tristan Smith,
Right.
Casey Myers, um, Jack Odron,
Yeah.
Levi Logan,
Hmm.
like Ethan Ash, all those guys, Sophia as well.
Yes.
But yeah, all of them were like they gave me they gave me great like they gave me a great wheel to follow while I was training. They really showed me what it was like. Oh sorry, it's my
No,
dog
don't
barking.
don't worry about it.
Um, but like so I don't think that's the right way to say that. Like they just I don't know. I
Guided
just
you.
when I was training with them, it was like it was just more it was just like more volume and harder, I guess, than like they were faster than like mostly anyone else that I'd ever ridden with, I guess, at that time.
Yeah.
So I think that was really helpful for me, but also they just like they helped guide me through like the mental side of things as well with
Right.
racing. And like since then I've like read a lot like about like the mental aspects of racing and of just being an athlete in general.
Yeah.
And like they really helped show me that like when you're racing, I think you just have to you just have to go out and ride like it's any other any other race, no matter like how big of a race it is.
Yeah.
Because like if you're thinking, oh my God, there's nationals, like it's just another race, I guess, if you think about it. Like, but I think people really tend to get caught up in the blinding lights and like the more and more you race big races, I think that goes away, and you learn to cope with like the stress, the added stress, especially of like a championship title on the line. And just, I think you just can't think about that really while you're
Yeah.
racing. Um, it's something that like they helped show me as well. Like I personally I don't like to think about that while I'm racing.
Yeah.
Like it distracts me and I just like to try to focus on like the 10 feet in front of my front tire and like obviously if you're riding with other people you're thinking I guess you're always thinking about strategy as well but
Yeah.
um I just like to be as like focused in the moment and like present as possible.
Yeah. So
And
you
like
say that mental aspect's a really big part of
what
it.
was that?
Mental, like the mental
Oh,
games and stuff like that of the
yeah.
racing is a big part of it all.
Yeah, I think that mental game is like massive, honestly.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, I think it's people like a lot of the time I think that you're capable of a lot more than you think and you can't get discouraged by like hard competition or
Yeah.
like big races, if you know what I'm saying, even though I haven't like been to I'm not since I'm not a UCI junior yet, I haven't like been to Europe or like race worlds or anything like that.
Yeah.
I just think that you have to, focus on the moment, if you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Oh, 100%, bro. Like,
Yeah.
um, I came to a realization that what was stop. Oh, bless you. Or if you
Oh,
coughed, I don't know.
thank you.
Anyways, um, what was stopping me last year? Yeah, the physical part was I mean, it was a big thing for me.
Yeah.
Um, because I never really. That was like my first year getting into that
Mm,
training, you know.
yeah.
And before that, I did the have fun, ride your bike, every
Yeah.
day. Just ride your bike every day.
Yeah.
Um, but I realized that that race strategy, that mental toughness is a big
Hmm.
key component. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, uh, what race was I thinking about from last year? That I'll just say Arkansas because Arkansas was a really tough
Okay.
race.
Yeah, Arkansas was tough.
Oh, it's too tough, dude. That
Yeah.
climb, where it was just like peanut butter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I just remember that being like okay, like you're here, you're prepared for it. You might not be doing how you want to be doing. Like this is like in the race,
Hmm.
but you got to push through it. And the pain in your legs, the pain in your chest, the pain throughout your body, you got to just kind
Yeah.
of forget about. But it's so hard to
Hmm.
do. You just got to
Yeah.
teach yourself.
Yeah. Agreed. Like, I think that sometimes like you're so focused on a race, like you've been preparing so hard and stuff for a
Yeah,
race that you're like the best feeling for me is when you're racing and there's just like your body doesn't even feel the pain pretty much because you're just so
yeah,
like
in it.
so focused, pumped up with adrenaline too, probably. But like,
Probably a little bowl, a mix.
yeah, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, bro. Um, yeah, like it's cool to watch you race and to watch the younger riders race, especially
Yeah,
with like the talent and the hard work you guys put in, because
yeah,
it's like once you guys get up and get to be old enough, it's gonna be even more
yeah,
fun,
yeah,
and then because the competition is be even that much more stacked,
yeah,
but it's also cool to see like not one person, not even Nino Schurter, the best guy in the world, knows
yeah,
it all, right? Like
yeah,
you guys know stuff that we don't. We know stuff that you
mm,
guys don't know.
yeah,
Um, Cody and Kathy, they know stuff that we don't know. Like
mm,
it's really cool to see what you can apply to other people's lives and to see
yeah,
that you guys are really putting in the work. And it's an
yeah,
inspiration because we got to keep it up too.
mm-hmm,
I got to catch the guys in my category. Are you kidding me? I'm not even fast enough for that yet. Like
yeah.
like it's
But
keep going. Sorry.
no, you're good.
No, you go. You go.
Okay. Well, I was just gonna say, I think you like when you're trying to learn things, like
Hmm.
about whatever racing or training, or like especially on the mental side of things, or
Hmm.
like training philosophies, anything like that. I think that you really have to like put your ego aside and like anyone there, like a lot of people could have good advice about tons of different things, and
Right.
um like no matter who it is, I think that you just always have to be open to new ideas, new information, and yeah, like I think that if you like go about every day being open to new ideas and um like especially like with your coaches
Yeah.
or whatever, like if they tell you you can improve on, whatever, and you're like, no, I think I'm doing the right thing. I think that
Yeah.
you have to at least consider like what they're saying and maybe like I don't know, just give things a try because it could be beneficial to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Like yeah, that plays a key factor into a lot of things. Definitely put that ego aside, like you said, that humility. You got to have a lot of humility, especially in a single person sport. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
not a team sport, because a team sport you
hmm,
can rely on the other guys sometimes.
yeah. Like while you're racing as well, I think you definitely need to put your ego aside because
Yeah.
if you're thinking like if your goal is to beat somebody like and they beat you, you're gonna be like crushed. But
Hmm.
or if especially if you're thinking I'm so much better than this person and they beat me, like that's gonna be very discouraging. And
Yeah.
I just don't
Definitely.
think that's a good way to race, like thinking that I'm better than, whatever people.
Hmm.
Like some people will have like surprisingly good days, I think, sometimes. And like if that catches you off guard, I think that'll really throw you off.
Yeah. Stick to that
Um,
strategy. Stick to that game plan.
yeah,
Definitely. Yeah. Because
yeah, for sure.
yeah, like you'll see those guys come out of nowhere, and and they really don't even realize that it's
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like they come out of nowhere and it's crazy, and then the next day they're just like totally swamped and they can't keep up with the
mm,
group. So it's like
yeah,
yeah, you got to stay on that track. You got to yeah, what you just
yeah,
said. Stay on your lane.
yeah. I mean, I guess it's kind of like racing against everybody like equally.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like if like I think it's very easy to get in your own head about who you're racing against. Like if I'm like racing against Nico or something,
Yeah.
Nico connect me, and like I think it's a lot different than like racing as a first year versus a second year,
Hmm.
or because like you almost can give yourself an excuse, um, being like I'm younger or whatever, if you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying. But I like to try to like I don't want to give myself any excuses.
Yeah.
Um, and just try to race as well as I can against whoever it is. Like if they're younger than me or if they're older than me or if they're the same age as me, it doesn't matter. Like just racing as well as possible, no matter who it is. If you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Oh yeah, bro. Yeah, like it's funny that you say like because I'm a younger rider, like it's okay. Because I used to be that way where I was like
Yeah.
I make I am the biggest like like no one hears excuses you make in your head, but I feel like I make the most, like I feel like
Mm.
most people feel that way.
No, yeah,
But
it's like it's so easy to just like to like fall into that hole of being like, there's a million different excuses that you could come up
right.
with. Like I didn't sleep well last night or this is his like home course or
My pinky
anything like
hurts.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah,
Anything
dude.
like that, but
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I see that with a lot of guys.
yeah.
Um, like in this, like in the more local races, everyone's more
Mhm.
like chatty, and whereas in the
Mm.
big races, everyone's like, get out of my face.
Yeah, everyone's
Um,
all in the zone and doesn't want to talk. And,
right. Like you'll definitely people voice those excuses more in the smaller
mhm.
stuff. I see that a
Yeah.
lot. Like I'm observant about that because I know I'm that way and I don't want to be that way.
Mhm.
um,
Yeah.
but yeah, the more I'm thinking of it, probably the higher up you go in the hierarchy,
Mhm.
the less excuses are made, and the more just
Yeah.
doing is just do it.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Agreed. Because like especially in like elite categories and stuff, when there's people of all like ages competing against each other from like Nina to
yeah,
I don't know. I can't think of an example of a really young rider, but
yeah. There's
like
that one guy that's like his rate. He was 17 last year, and I don't remember his name, but he was 17. His race age was like 19 somehow, and then so he was in the U23 category, right?
hmm,
And he
he's
once,
17.
yeah,
His
he's
race age is
17.
19.
It's something crazy.
Okay.
I'm
Anyways.
probably totally incorrect, but he won something really
Hmm.
big, and he was doing some
Yeah.
crazy hours on the
Oh,
bike. I
really?
remember, yeah, like 20 hours
Yeah.
a week at like
Really.
17, and it was like, holy
Huh.
crap.
Well, yeah, that's really interesting to like talk about as well. Like your volume of training, like at
Hmm.
certain ages. Because like Bjorn Riley, like I've heard him talk about this a lot. How like Bjorn's been very good in like past years, but then like this past mountain bike season, he said I think like that he ramped up his volume from like mostly like 10 to 15 hour weeks to like 15 to 20 hour weeks
Hmm.
or like even more. But like he hasn't been like doing that in the past because like I think that you can easily overdo it when
Yeah,
you're young and like if you're doing I think 20-hour weeks every week as a first year 17 18 then like there's not that much more room like for an XC mountain biker to be doing more volume
yeah,
like especially for XC I think that there's like a limit on how much volume is beneficial
right.
like for road obviously they're doing like upwards of like 35-hour weeks but like
Yeah, they're doing like those
which is
20.
insane
Hmm.
but um like if you like when you ramp up your volume and intensity and all of that like every year it's just gradually slowly like increasing bit by bit that's
Right.
like you don't want to not have anything left to increase once you're like a second year or like third year U23, or like, because like once you're like closer to the end of being a U23, you'll probably be doing like the maximum amount of volume. No, maybe not even. Like
Yeah.
you can keep on building up like throughout being an elite, and like I don't know, I think that you can't like yeah, just can't do too much at a young age because like you'll peak early.
Yeah, you don't want to peak early. It's a
Yeah.
lifelong sport, you know?
Yeah, like obviously everyone wants to win when they're 17, 18 and U23, but like elites is way more important. So,
Yeah.
like even if you're not like as fast as you could be, like I think about this sometimes, like how much potential if you had like the perfect training, if you know what I'm saying, like perfect recovery and perfect training and stuff,
Yeah.
like how fast you could possibly be like at the age of 15. And you could probably be like crazily fast, but then
Yeah.
you would probably burn out. And
Yeah.
like that's why I don't think you see people really ramping up their volume and stuff until they're like a UCI junior.
Yeah.
And yeah, but like going back to like Bjorn, like his increase in volume and intensity, like he was talking about, like really helped him. It seemed like this past year because he had a crazy season.
Oh, he did. I haven't followed up
Um,
on any of that stuff this year.
yeah, he's second at snowshoe World Cup,
Oh, yeah.
and
That's
he
good.
was top 10 at Worlds as well for U23. But like last year, he was like way farther back in like every race. Like he was like maybe top 20 at snowshoe and like top 30 at Worlds or something. But now he's like really getting there, and there's like him and Riley, they still have multiple years left in like U23, and they
Yeah.
still have like more they could be doing, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
So like they're just gonna continue to get faster and faster.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Like,
yeah,
burnout is definitely a thing. I almost
yeah.
experienced it last year with Cody and Kathy.
Really.
Um, yeah, like it was more of like an internal thing, you know, like
Mm,
it's just like you get in your head and then it just builds up
mm,
and it's like a snowball.
yeah, yeah,
Um, yeah, you really got to be careful with that volume.
yeah,
I don't think your body can really peak. Like I know people talk about it a lot,
yeah.
but I don't, I mean, I do not think that we were built to like one day just like our bodies are like, okay, we hit the top. Like that's it, and then just
Mm,
starts kind of going downwards. I think it's always supposed to be a slow progression in just
yeah,
fitness world.
mm, yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
What What do you think like made you feel burnt out last year?
Um, what was it? It was more so like just becoming like an adult, because now
Mm,
I'm 18. No more
yeah,
like, no more like, oh, I'll go spend $100 because it was the money, like
mm,
the money got in my head and I was like, oh crap, we got to start
yeah. It's
making a real
very
buck.
yeah very expensive sport.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. But
Yeah.
I know I took a lot of what I learned in biking and what I'm
Mhm.
still learning because I want to do this forever. I want to go race in the biggest race I could possibly race in. I want to go qualify for
Mhm.
those big races. I want to go uh, push my own thought, like my own limits that I put on myself. I want to see if I can break past them.
Mhm.
But that
Yeah.
that pressure kind of burnt me out that I
Mhm.
put on myself.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Hmm.
Like I feel like you need those like even like results based goals, like win whatever race. But
Hmm.
if you don't achieve that goal, um, like I don't think that's anything to be disappointed about because
Right.
you can just use that as like learning. You can think, well, what could have I done better? And if you did your best and someone still beat you, I don't think you should be disappointed because
Mhm.
yeah, they're just if they're just better on the day and
Yeah,
um yeah, if they just have better legs than you, I don't think that you should be like mad at all about that. But
yeah. I wanna talk about the mental side again, like, because I feel like that's a really untouched. Like, it's a very how like they say they discovered however much, like 2% of the ocean so far, and then like they
mm,
haven't discovered like 98%. I feel like it's like that with like the mental side of sports. I feel like it's so
mm,
untouched because do you know who David Goggins is?
yeah,
Yeah, that dude is insane. Like
yeah, he's crazy.
I swear he's from out of this world. Like um some of the things he's done, I don't think I mean there's a very select few in the world I'd say that'd be able to do some of the stuff he's done from the stories I've heard that he's done.
Yeah,
But that's kind of just like been my like always since I was like 14, 13. I
mm,
heard of him and I always think back to him like plays in the head. I'm like, how farther can I push myself? What is there that I'm like missing out on that I'm not fully
yeah,
like thinking about?
yeah,
I think it's crazy. I think it's really crazy. I think the body is so um underestimated, and the people that reach the high levels of success with their with like athletics and with like in the military is a really good example.
mm-hmm,
Like they've reached a level that you can't explain unless you've done it yourself.
mm-hmm.
And yeah, what are your thoughts on it? Like, what are some things that you might say to yourself in a race when it's like you're like, okay, I can't do this anymore, but somehow you still keep doing it?
Yeah, like I think that like it's very easy to quit. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
let's say that you're like off the front of a race with one other person, they're like attacking, and you're about to like die or you're like
Yeah.
on your limit, if you know what I'm saying. Like you're in the red, and like it's easy to just let them go, but like you obviously you wouldn't want to, but when you're going that hard, like when you're like really at your limit, um, like I think that those like thoughts start to intrude into your mind. You'd be like, "Oh, it'd be so nice if I just sat up." You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like I could just stop right now,
Hmm.
like, and still finish second or something. But like I think that you just have to um you just have to like focus and try as hard as you can to like stay there and just stay on that wheel and like in a race I think you have to be tactical as well if you're um like if there's someone stronger than you I think that you can still beat them a lot of the time
Yeah.
because like you can find sections where you're probably faster than them like through a section of a descent or a technical climb or whatever like there's
Mhm.
I think really prevalent in cyclocross racing as well. Because like cross is so like the um your technical skills in cross are so important.
Okay.
So I think it's like I think that you just have to never say die, if you know what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
just don't give up until it's over. Because like
Hmm.
even if they do break away from you, like even if you're with someone, they get a gap on you. Um, like who knows? Maybe they crash, maybe they flat, maybe they blow up. Like
Right.
you just have to. You never know what's gonna happen, especially
Hmm.
in XCO mountain bike racing and cyclocross racing, because there's so many crazy things that can happen. Like in off-road racing, I think.
Yeah, dude. It's like,
especially
yeah, keep going, keep going.
because oh sorry,
No, no, no. I was
but
like,
like
when he did. Anyways, go.
um yeah, it's just you just have to stay in it. Like you have to, I think, also be really clear to yourself about what your goals are. Like
Hmm.
you have to know what your why is, if you know what I'm saying. Like
Hmm.
your reason, your motivation, like reasoning behind why you wanna win.
Hmm.
Like it always feels good to win, but you have to, I think, go deeper than just enjoying like winning a race.
That satisfaction of,
Like the yeah, the satisfaction of winning a race and like it's obviously a great validation of your hard work, but I think you need more motivation than just that. Like um people who are also motivated to just like earn results, like motivated. That's what like really led Ryan Campbell to burnout, if you know who that is.
I've heard of him, but I don't know who he is.
He won mountain bike nationals for 15, 16 um in 2019. He's from
Yeah.
Golden.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know who
he's
he
from
is.
Golden. He's really quick. He was really quick, but he got burnt out. Because like when COVID hit, he was just so results like focused that um like he just didn't really have any motivation. So like
Yeah.
for me, it like it really motivates me to like be an inspiration to younger kids. That's like one of the biggest motivations
Hmm.
or one of the biggest things that motivates me.
Hmm.
Because like I think about all these guys Chris Blevins, Riley, Bjorn, like Ryan Campbell, because he's from Golden, especially like that year when he won nationals. I was like, oh my God, that's crazy. Like
Yeah.
that's so crazy to win nationals. Like I did like never even thought of myself like winning nationals at like that point in time
Hmm.
in 2019, and I was just like, yeah, it's just like so inspiring and like me thinking about how like when I think about all these guys that I look up to, how like I'm turning into one of those guys for some other younger kids right now, which is really cool to me.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah.
Yeah, definitely. As I ride, I don't have any crazy impressive stats, but it's
Mm-hmm.
more of the what defines me as a rider is my the screw up races.
Mm,
Those races that are like like crap at the fan, like it did not go good.
yeah.
And like I have one it's a scar on my leg. I always like I look at it every day and it always reminds me to push harder because this was last year, my junior year racing. Like I think the medal's back there. Georgia Cycling in the back.
Mm,
Um, and we were warming up in the warm up circuit. Like it's like this little field, and you warm up.
yeah.
And I got stabbed in the leg by this handlebar because this kid like cut in front of me, and we crashed, and his handlebar went to my knee,
What's
and
That's crazy.
yeah, and I still raced for some reason.
Oh yeah.
um,
Really.
but I remember after that race, a bunch of people came up to me and was like, "Dude, like, yeah, like like they're just like,
Mm,
way to go, like you pushed through it." Like people
yeah.
really take to those things,
Yeah.
and
Agreed.
yeah, like there's this guy Jared Gallup. I don't know if
Mm,
you know who he is. He used to
no.
race. He's a good buddy of mine. I've grown up with him pretty much. But
Nice.
he raced 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Um, I think it was in juniors, and
Yeah.
but he got burnt out. And I just
Oh
remember
really?
looking up to him and wishing he kept riding. because
Mm,
he's always been an inspiration. But that also him not wanting having the heart to do it because you got to have the heart to do it inspired me even more when he stopped because
mm,
I was like okay, you know, you're on your own now. Like you don't got any of your childhood buddies to race against anymore. It's like now you got to
yeah,
do it for everyone. You know, there's just some things that like uh you gotta push through
yeah,
to help other people. If that
yeah,
makes any sense.
yeah. I kind of know what you're saying.
Yeah, I know it's like a little bit of a whirlwind, but of
Hmm.
how I'm explaining it. But yeah, I
Yeah,
think you kind of get it.
yeah, yeah. I know what you're saying.
Hmm.
All right, cool. Any more questions?
No, bro. I mean, I guess I got one more.
Okay.
So like thinking back to The Rock when you were going off, you went off that thing with like no fear. Where do you get all that courage from? Like seriously.
Huh. Um, like of just like riding like technical things or like racing, you mean?
I
Or
mean, just in life in general, because there's a lot of things you go at. Even
mm,
from the few times I've hung out with you, that you just kind of
yeah.
like go at it, you know?
Mhm. Yeah. Well, so I think like racing, at least, like for me, I like I've had to like I've had a lot of I sometimes have a lot of nervousness. Like I think it's usual because like I think like the reason why you get nerves before a race is like because you care about it, which is good. But
Mhm.
like it can definitely turn into a negative thing pretty quickly because if you're like if you're stressing out too much, you're overthinking. I just think that you shouldn't like think, just don't overthink. Like overthinking is like your worst enemy, or at least for me, it's like it's this it's very counterproductive and like easily like especially like the night before a big race or something, like my mind can easily just like spiral out of control thinking about like I don't know, crazy like random like things in like the race and just like thinking about different people and stuff and like all of that. But I just I think you need to um try not to think like just think as little as possible and just
Mhm.
like ride like how you know how to ride. Um
Yeah.
but like also I think you get used to the big races and like you get used to that feeling of being really nervous and like after a while it slowly gets um it's like not as bad. You know what I'm saying? Because like
Mhm.
you just you understand like how it's gonna feel when you go to the start line and you see like that national championship like start
Yeah.
banner, and then like you know that feeling of being on the start line and then like so before your race you can just visualize all of that and like for weeks and months like before leading up to a big race you can visualize how that's gonna feel and like what you're gonna do when you're like faced with those feelings. But like I also I like to think about like so you also mentioned that thing about the rocks like in like a not racing context.
Yeah.
Um or like just doing things that are scary I guess in general.
Yeah.
I like okay so like let's say I'm at like skiing or something and there's like a cliff that I want to do or
Yeah.
something or like if I want to like do a certain trick on a certain jump or something I think to myself I'm like am I capable of doing this and if I think I'm capable of doing it I'm not gonna like die
Yeah.
and I'm just like okay so then why are you scared why what are you scared about so just I like to try to just not like just don't think about it. Just like trying to flow and act as naturally as possible, like while you're racing as well.
Hmm.
You just I think it's really important when you know you can do something. You just have to not think about it and just do it.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah, I definitely appreciate those words, dude.
yeah,
Yeah, like those are some things I never thought of. Like if you're capable of it, just do it, even though you're
yeah,
scared out of your mind. Just do it.
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, it's a lot of just action. Action
Yeah.
takes presence over thoughts. I feel like
Mhm. Yeah.
something you're definitely expressing a lot to me.
Yeah.
Is the main thing. You just got to do it. You know.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on here. It's definitely an honor. I want to ride
Yeah,
with you
for
whenever I
sure.
come.